Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here as always. I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jilboo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know, I'll be honest with you. I sat down here and I had no idea what in the world I was planning on talking about tonight. I started doing fireside chats because, actually, I started doing fireside chats. I did them every day. I just didn't have the camera on. Because for me, when you get older in life, you start realizing, especially at 58, I don't think that I'm going to live to be 116. Just don't. Knowing that like the life expectancy is like 72 or something like that, it may have come down for all I know. That I've got more years behind me than I do in front of me. And so I've always had the mentality of I don't want to waste a day. So I started doing, I always go my backyard, I like having a fire and just sitting around and reflecting on the day that was. And I like to think that I ask myself, was I a good person? Did I look out for my fellow man? Did I do things to get further along in life? Did I try and advance what I'm doing? And if I did those things, then I felt better when I went to sleep. Because life is short and life is precious. And that's how this got started. You know, I built my fire pit at home, which I absolutely positively love. And since we spent so much time here working at the red brick house and things, you know, my wife, my wonderful wife, ended up getting me this to be able to have actually a fire here in the house. You use biofuel in it, so it's, you know, no exhaust or fumes or anything that'll kill you, or, you know, a fire that's going up the chimney that might burn the house down. So that's how we got started. My life revolves around football, because football has taught me so much about life. I can relate almost any situation in life to things that have happened in football. You know, when I think about some of the practices we have or some of the games and things that have basically taught me, no matter how exhausted you are, you can always give more. And so that's where Jilboo Sports has evolved into. And fortunately, it changed me. For me to be able to sit down and have a conversation in public, in front of a camera, was something 15 years ago I couldn't ever even think or imagine, because I was too scared to speak in public. I would stutter, or I couldn't think of anything to say. But because of this, it's changed my life completely. And other things that have changed my life is the people that I have been exposed to and have become such a part of my life. And that's where I have to thank all of you guys. Now, with our Dallas Cowboys, it's always amazing. Now, the Cowboys, we're looking and seeing that the Eagles, you know, looking on Twitter, and Eagle fans are calling that they've already got Shaq Leonard, that he's going to become a Eagle come Monday, and yada, yada, yada. I've heard that the Cowboys are doing their due diligence and checking into the hood and trying to figure out if it is, in fact, who they want to bring in and so on. And the Cowboys wanting to bring him in because they look at him as maybe not the player that he was, but definitely a role player that can help the team going down the stretch. Now, the backdrop to all this is we are constantly bombarded and told that even though we win, we really lose. You understand what I'm saying? Tom Brady, they literally last year going to that game, they all picked Tampa Bay and said Tampa Bay's the better team. Tom Brady, the GOAT. Dak Prescott's ass. The Cowboys got no chance. Then the Cowboys win. It's like that game didn't exist. Or when you go back and say, oh, well, Tampa Bay, they were just a bad team. And so when the Cowboys go through and they destroy a team that's a bad team, they'll throw at you, well, the Cowboys, especially Dan Orlovsky, who's got like a 3-30 record in his career. Somehow he's deemed this football god and expert that'll tell you, Dak did this wrong, that wrong. I guess because he did everything wrong, he knows everything out there that's wrong to do. So I guess that makes him an expert. But it's kind of crazy because I'm sitting here. We beat the Commanders yesterday down. We beat them down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But this is the same team that was a one-score game for the Eagles, not once but twice, that the Eagles gave up 31 points twice to. And somehow they say that Jalen Hurts is playing great, the Eagles are playing great, they're a better team. But the Cowboys destroy a team, and they say, well, it was just a loser team. And I'm sitting here, and they're praising Tua and crew in Miami and saying they're a great team. And Tua throws a pick six and a second interception in the game, 1 TD. But he's an MVP candidate, even though they haven't beat a team with a winning record. At least when we beat the Jets had a winning record. They were 1-0 after beating Josh Allen, another guy that they say is a great quarterback, but, they've since kind of soured on him. No matter what, we're not supposed to feel good about our team, that we're always Charlie Brown getting set up. That's the narrative that they have for us. Even though other teams do the same thing, and you can go down the list, take a look at the San Francisco 49ers schedule. They'll sit here and tell you that San Francisco, my God, San Francisco, they're a juggernaut. Like the San Francisco 49ers are playing and beating great teams every week. Right? And that's the perception everybody has. Oh my God, San Francisco, there's a juggernaut. The only big win that San Francisco has this year is us. It's us. That's it. Point blank. There's no great wins against great teams out there. Now we'll find out when they play the Eagles in, next weekend. We'll find out then, because other than that, we're talking about the Rams in Seattle and Minnesota. They lost to Minnesota. That's right. They lost to Minnesota. They lost to the Browns. Yeah. So the crazy thing about football is, it's not how you start. It's how you finish. And going down the stretch, this story isn't written. The thing I see, and if you watched my live stream earlier tonight, I look at the Cowboys and I see things that we weren't getting when we were playing with San Francisco. Offensive line is playing better, by far. Terrence Steele seems to have turned it back on. Tyron Smith is staying healthy. Taylor Smith has become one of the best guards in football. You look at Dak. They've released the Kraken. They've thrown out that old playbook. Dak has been playing on a tear for the last 6 weeks. CD, Brandon Cooks, everybody has been better than where they were 7 weeks ago. Now we'll see when we go against the bigger teams. But if you're able to destroy other teams like we have been, man, you'll be better against those good teams too. So that's all I have to say about that. It's been a long day. I'm tired. We had a very busy Thanksgiving. I am so thankful for this place, for my family, for my wonderful wife, my friends, for you guys, and having the experience that I had this weekend, or excuse me, going into this weekend. Unfortunately, I'm saddened because, of course, we lost a great friend. And that's where I always tell you guys, as I sit here and I reflect on life, at the end of the day, I'm grateful and thankful for each one that I have. But for none of us, tomorrow's not promised. And that's why you gotta make the most of today. And make sure that you tell everybody that you love how much you've loved them. Because you might not get the chance again. And you never know when the last time you're going to see somebody is. I love you guys. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. God willing, we'll all be here tomorrow. Rest in peace, Rashid.